Hey, everybody, welcome back for your lesson today, part two. Today, I'm giving you your requirements for your final project because, hey, folks, we're almost there. We're almost to the end. Normally, we would spend 3 class periods on the final project. I've actually shrunk this one down quite a bit to just make it a little more manageable during your guys' e-learning time. So I'm going to give it to you this week so that you guys can basically have the next 3 weeks or so to work on it. I will break it down based on like due dates for each portion and then when the final part is due, as well as go over kind of like specific information. So this is a culmination of what we learned in this class. There's a little bit that just one little piece that we didn't get to in class that we touched on it in class, but everything else, I've kind of taken out anything that we didn't learn in class when we were physically kind of in class together or doing e-learning. So you guys are going to be writing a paper about a publicly traded company. And if you're confused about that vocabulary, you can literally Google publicly traded companies, or like this one says the world's largest public companies, and you can look through this whole list. It's any company that's not private, so there's tons and tons on here. You can also go the other route of like, I'd really like to do some research on Forever 21 and type in, is Forever 21 publicly traded? And that's how you can find out. So this is a list of like, I think it's like the 100 largest ones that you guys could certainly look up here, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a large company. It just has to be publicly traded so that you can get some specific information on it. Okay. Your paper, I really hate putting minimums on paper, but as a teacher, you have to do that sometimes because people will turn in 1 page and think that's okay. So it should be a minimum of 4 pages in length, typed and double spaced. So that's, if you're thinking about it, a 2 page paper, single spaced. One of those pages is going to be a cover page. So really, it's 3 pages. I think you guys will probably need a little bit more, but that's at least the minimum what I want to see. So you're going to have your title page, which lists the name of your project, your name, and then B3, it's your business. In your paper, you may insert pictures, clip art, graphics, graphs, anything to make it a little more engaging, but of course, only if it's furthering kind of like the point you've made. Or if at one point we ask about an ethical decision that the company has made, if you wanted to do a newspaper clipping of something they've done, that would be important to add. But I definitely don't want you to just add things that you get to that 4 page minimum, because you're not going to get the full points if you don't have everything that's listed. So down below, I have 8 sections. And the reason why they're listed in different colors is I'm going to have you guys turn in drafts each week that show that you are working on this project and you're not saving it to the last minute. Yeah, what's up, buddy? Oh, of course. Thank you for the quick hug. So, for instance, this Friday, parts 1 and 2 are going to be due. So, what's the name of the company and the mission statement? What is that? Number 2 is a history of the company up through the present day. So, you're just listing kind of major events and how those impacted the company. A timeline might be great to show major events. Now, like if I was going to do one on Kadick Coffee, which for this project, it's not a publicly traded company, but just as an example, I might talk about when they first opened, what the first year was like the grand opening, things like that. Then I would probably put in when a new advisor took over, when we hit the milestone of getting to gold level certification for Kadick Coffee. Those would be important things to include. Next thing that we're going to do, hi, sweet boy. Can you come see me in just a little bit? Okay, I love you. Yes. Yeah, of course. All right, love you. Okay, numbers 3, 4, and 5 are going to be due next Friday. So you're giving one example that shows what you would consider to be an ethical decision made by this company in the past, or is in the process of making right now, based on COVID, where we are with COVID-19. That might be something that's currently happening. So make sure you kind of explain this: why they made the decision, who prompted or what prompted them to make it, what do they hope to achieve by making it, etc. Also, make sure you explain like your perspective as well. I think this was a good decision because. Next is an example of a poor ethical decision that this company made in the past or is in the process of making. Again, there might be some companies that are doing some kind of interesting stuff with all this COVID madness. So I want you to explain that pretty thoroughly. Lastly, for this section is you're going to explain their marketing. So we did a little bit with social media. We also did marketing in class before we left for e-learning. We talked about some different examples there. So you're going to give examples of their marketing, exactly what they do. Your next section, so 6, 7, 8, will be due the following Friday. You're going to write about their operations. This was the part that I mentioned we didn't cover a ton in class. We're talking about like day-to-day operations. How do they actually operate? Specifics on like maybe distribution, how they get products to people. You're just giving me an overview of how the company operates, what exactly they're doing, the manufacturing piece potentially. Are they just a retail company that's selling things that have been manufactured somewhere else? You're explaining to me how that works for that company. 7, you're going to write about the good or bad effects that the current COVID-19 economic situation has had on the company. Remember, we did this for small businesses, right? So you guys have already been churning like how this impacts them in a certain way. You're going to look at it on a bigger company level now, a publicly traded company. And then lastly, I want you to write just a summary paragraph for your paper to wrap it all up, just to tie all the pieces together. The reason the last part is in a different color is, hey, sorry, they're out of control. Frankie, that's inappropriate. Okay, so the last part that you guys are going to do is a bibliography. So just any information that you got from the internet. Obviously, we have to cite our sources. I'm not looking for this until you turn in your final draft on May 22nd. So you don't need to include it until then. Now, I've shown you the grading scale. So I will grade each of the 8 sections is worth 10 points, and I will grade them based on the scale: excellent, very good, fair, and then poor. And then you will get 10 points for your bibliography and overall appearance, spelling, and punctuation. I've also put at the bottom, I'm going to give you an extra 10 points for appearance. So you can just earn 10 points by making your project look good, your title page, look great. I will upload some examples of a great title page. In fact, I can actually show you one, I think, right now. This is actually a project that I was working on for my program. This is a professional portfolio, but this is a nice looking title page, makes it nice engaging. But of course, make sure you're inserting the correct information, not my information on here. You guys, please make sure you ask any questions that you have about this project. You can shoot me an email, write me a Schoology message, or we can set up a time to chat on Microsoft Teams. What else do I want to say? Oh, as you're turning in your draft. So, like for instance, 1 and 2 is due on Friday. I don't need this to be like the perfect final copy of it. If you want to get, good feedback from me on is this great? Is this what you're looking for? Definitely you can write it out in paragraph form, but you can also do it in outline form, meaning you can have your top bullet point and then your kind of like subheadings and subsections underneath it of what you're going to write in your final paper. I'm just looking to see that you've actually put some thought into this process for this week for your assignment, next week, and the following week. So you won't have like an additional weekly assignment or a discussion to do. I'm just looking for you guys to complete these pieces that we would have completed during class time at if we were at school. So I will upload all the information you guys need to be successful, even a link to that publicly traded companies. As always, please let me know what questions you have. I'm hoping if you guys follow the due dates, this will be pretty easy for you to do. Questions, thoughts, concerns, shoot me an email or a message. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.